Two cost 100 units in a single week and a vision card too? Has the world gone crazy or is it just Gumi? But just because Gumi throws some shiny new units into your face, it doesn't mean you have to pull for them, right? We have a new cost 100 unit or a new vision card practically every 2 minutes. If you start pulling for all of them, then my friend, your wallet will not enjoy your company anymore and you won't have any money left to impress the girl next door. So before all the banners come rolling in on Wednesday, let's talk about the units and vision card we're about to get and see if you actually need to pull for any of it. And if any of this would actually be worthwhile to you or something you would forget about in a week after spending a ton of your Vizier. Let's start with Rysol, our new wind waifu, because we actually have a pretty good idea about what she is capable of. Starting with the TMR, this is a pretty nice one to have around, agility in the stats and a fairly decent skill too. The master ability gives you a hint that she wants to deal damage and maybe soak up a bit of damage too with that AoE resistance. The dream ability is not particularly incredible though. The support abilities are good enough, nothing groundbreaking or anything of that nature. She has access to strike and pierce attacks through her sub-jobs and a couple of support abilities to support those types of attacks, in case she runs into units with a high amount of slash resistance. The counters are pretty lackluster to me. The lack of any reflex is noticeable, so she can't really cheat herself out of losing matches through RNG. She has two buffs that you might be interested in. The first one improves her defenses and AP situation, while the second one is the one she really needs to put on. Rysol lacks any courage or revival on her own, so the way she tries to keep herself alive is through damage absorption. She also has a skill which also helps to absorb damage, so you know what she's trying to accomplish. She can get rid of re-raise and all sorts of buffs too. She also has a couple of guaranteed hit attacks through her sub-jobs, so she won't be a complete headless chicken against evasion teams. But is that enough to make her a needed unit? Personally, I don't think that's the case. She does not bring enough to the table for me to make me believe that wind element players can't go without her. But let's go through a couple of quick games to see what she can actually do on the battlefield. Hello everybody, this is the Editor Man. We are here to see if Rysol is worth your Vizier or not. And first up, we are up against a fire evasion team. You will see them everywhere very soon once everybody is done building their Yuffie to level 120 or 140. Wind teams are typically pretty accurate when Kalashella is around. Usually you also see Joom and she has a guaranteed hit skill. And she is hard to take down considering how bulky she is. So let's see if Rysol can bring something to the table. She will get a hit off on Yuffie, but Yuffie has that barrier which nullifies the first hit she takes. And they're going to go up against Rysol because she's really far up ahead. Saro's still back there, not doing much right now. Yuffie is going to get a hit on Rysol and whoa, that's a nasty hit. Her counter does basically nothing and she has an AoE attack here, doesn't even take down Yuffie. And Yuffie is pretty fragile, And again, she is just kind of surrounded by the fire units and Kalashella is going to help her out by taking Yuffie down. The Holy Father is coming up and Saro just takes her out, that's it. But the re-raise though from Sadali, that's going to come into effect here. And it's going to be the game changer. That's quite a bit of damage, but she would be down if Sadali wasn't there. And Sadali is going to almost knock off King Mont, but Saro is going to get a hit off on Kalashella and Sadali, but that's not enough. King Mon does put Sadali down, but Kalashella's around and Sadali has the zombie mass, so it doesn't even matter. And she is already out of AP. Rysol ran out of AP, couldn't really do much. Saro is surrounded and Kalashella is going to take a turn here, and the triple hit attack is going to put him down. That was not a great showing from Rysol. Alright, match number 2, and this time the wind team is going up against a water team featuring Amnelis, Summer, Elsorel, and Perrine. Not a great showing from Rysol in the first game. And what I'm trying to show today is that if you're going to go and get a unit, a cost 100 unit, in an element that you already have great units in, then that unit has to be a game changer and a huge carry for the team. Otherwise, I don't see the point. But we will see if Rysol can break down this water team properly. Didn't really do much against the fire team, not enough firepower and too much damage from somebody like Saro. That was just too much damage to take. And Summer Elsorel is almost engaging the wind team, but Rysol will be the first one to engage and she is going up against Summer Elsorel. Remember that girl Elsie is a pretty tough girl, not easy to take down. How much damage is that? Barely anything. She does put the blind on, but okay. That's not going to do a lot. Summer Elsorel's limit break is what she's going to probably go into. And oh my goodness, Amnelis put the hurt on Rysol and she is probably going to go down. She does have re-raise probably from Sadali, but that's going to be enough for her to be done, and she is, and she's going to come back, but Again, Sadali is carrying that, right? Sadali is the reason she's coming back. Otherwise, he's been gone in both games pretty quickly. And Perrine is going to take Sadali down and almost be taking... Almost took Glycella down as well. But this time, Sadali does go down from the counter from Perrine. She does get the job done after all. Glycella almost takes everybody out with a great hit, but not enough. Summer Elsewhere with the smile practice TMR, I think. And Emlillis is going to clean things up. And Rysol basically did nothing. Alright then, moving on to match number 3, and this time we're going up against, or the Win team is going up against, not us, against a very typical Dark Element team. There's Sephiroth, Bol Leela, and Dark Fina. And this is another team that you would come across pretty commonly on Arena and guild battles, you know, most of the time, because Dark is a reasonably popular element. So let's see if Rysol can actually put a dent into this team for so far. So far, Rysol has been carried, right, by Sadali and his re-raise and letting her get another shot in. And Joom has, Glycella has been cleaning things up pretty quickly and pretty efficiently. But we'll give her another chance or two. Let's see if she can manage to change my mind. And here comes the limit break. And she is targeting Bol Leela and Dark Fina with this. How much damage? And again, that's not a lot. I don't know. But Glycella is going to continue the chain, and she puts both of them down. Oh my goodness, and takes off the courage from Bol Leela as well. Here comes Sephiroth, and oh, that's a lot of damage. They both, Rysol and Sadali took a similar amount of damage, and Rysol does not do a lot of damage in return. Glycella, how much damage is this? And Sephiroth is pretty chunky. But Sadali probably finishes this off. Yep, he does. Again, well, they finally got a win, to be fair, but not really a very confident showing still. I'm not sold on this girl yet. And we'll do one more game. This is another water team, Perrine, Amnelis, and Eris. Well, that's pretty rare too. Well, let's see if Rysol can redeem herself for me. As far as I'm concerned, even if I was a win main, if I had Joom, if I had Sadali, and if I had Glycella, I would just skip this. Unless you have a lot of Vizier saved up, or if you really like the character. Again, no matter what I say, if you really like the character aesthetically or for whatever other reason, then definitely go for the character. But if you're going for a budget system for yourself, right? If you want to budget yourself, if you want to get a lot of cool things, then you have to be selective. And so far, Rysol has not shown herself to be the game changer for the wind element at all. Glycella has been doing very well. Sadali has been doing very well too. And Glycella, so Amnelis is going to charge something, but he's going to take the first hit from Rysol. And here comes the father, and he's going to try to put the charm on Amnelis. Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure she's the girl he's been into in the story, and she is charmed, but Glycella might just put them down immediately. And this will be very quick. Yep, Amnelis is down. Does she have re-raise? Nope. And Perrine is going to just one-shot Rysol. He's going to come back from the good father's re-raise, but very, very fragile there. And I don't know what Aerith is doing. He's trying to restore AP. Not a great move. Rysol couldn't even put Aerith down. My goodness. That's how weak she is. But the good father is going to put an end to this match. Perrine does go down. I am not impressed at all. Well, we're back, and that was pretty disappointing for me. I don't know about you. The Win team was quite capable of handling things between Sadali and Glycella. Our Rysol just couldn't really cut the mustard, as far as I could tell. If you already have a strong Win team, I don't think you need to go after this girl. But if you want to play a Wind Element team, if you don't have Glycella, if you don't have Joom, then I can at least imagine going after this girl too. On a final note, if you are a big fan of her, and I mean, I would get that, just look at her, then you should pull for whatever you want. But if you're on a budget, or if you are a free-to-play player, then you would want to get the most out of your Vizier, right? Keeping that in mind, she is not a must-have unit. Rysol is a very good unit potentially, but not one you absolutely need. In my opinion, of course. Time to move on to the brand new global original unit who looks like a Darth Vader cosplayer to me, Hyoh. Now, I know we won't know everything about him until he comes around on Wednesday, but with the information we already have, we can try to piece together a half-decent idea regarding what he is about. His job description tells us that he will be a damage dealer who can break barriers and has an attack with a wide AoE. Okay, that is vaguely threatening. His limit burst is multi-hit, which would be nice for some chaining. The Phantom Blade might be the wide AoE skill that they were talking about, but there isn't anything here so far that is going to blow anyone away. And Hyoh might have trouble with being accurate if the map effects are anything to go by, and they usually are in my experience. Even his card, which we will talk about in a moment, gives him more accuracy. I think this boy doesn't have any guaranteed hit attacks or is particularly inaccurate or something. We just got Yuffie, and fire evasion is the main gimmick for the fire element in terms of competitive viability. Yuffie can typically be seen alongside Valentine Ildera, King Mont, and Sorrow. Out of all of them, I think Ildera might be the weakest link, but even then she is by no means useless or anything like that. Her limit break is particularly effective in a fire evasion team. But in terms of a team comp, I feel like it would make more sense for Hyoh to replace Mont, because I'm pretty sure Hyoh isn't an evasion unit himself, so if you run him alongside Yuffie and King Mont, then you only have one evasion unit in the team. And I'm not sure if it's worth it to build evasion at that point, because you have to sacrifice vision card slots to build evasion in the first place. I do fully expect that Hyoh would be better than Ildera, but unless he is an incredible unit, I don't know if he is worth a 42k pity and the cost to build him up. Do not underestimate the amount of effort and Vizier it can take to get these cost 100 units to their maximum potential, especially with the whole transcendence and reincarnation stuff. I'm sure his banner will be around for at least a couple of weeks, so I suggest waiting for a little bit, even if you really want to go after him. We should have a pretty good idea about him after a week or so, and he might even turn out to be a regular pool unit for all we know. And finally, the vision card. I'll be real with you, okay? These job-based cards need quite a bit of work to get the most out of them. You need specific units and a bunch of very specific cards. You really need to have a vision of a particular type of team that you want to build. For example, I'm a big fan of great sword users like Esther and Knight of Ultra Instinct Ruinstern, so I would kinda enjoy using them together potentially. But I'm not gonna say that it'll be a very good team or something. But this card provides agility for the team, which is one of the most important abilities for a card to have. If your team is too slow, they will get thrashed before they even have the opportunity to do anything. But you get the idea, right? Job-based cards let you create rainbow teams that aren't completely terrible when compared to mono-element teams with their elemental locked vision cards. Is this an absolute must-have card for everyone? Nope, not even close. It is only important if you're looking to build a very specific team in the future, and probably not even a must-have for Hyoh himself if you intend to run him in a mono-fire team, which you probably would. Now, I know that a lot of people have been annoyed by the double cost 100 unit plus vision card week that is coming our way. But as far as I can tell, nothing on offer here is something everyone needs to go after. If you have spent a chunk of Vizier to build a good fire team already, then just stick with it. And if you already have Glishella and Sadali and June, then you really don't need to go after the new Wind Girl. What I'm trying to say is that we can't decide what Gumi will do, or what they will release and at what point in time. But even if 10 cost 100 units show up at the same time, it does not mean that you need to go after all of them. Not giving into the fear of missing out is an important lesson when it comes to games like this. It'll make it much easier for you to save for the collaborations and units and vision cards which you really want, and that'll make the game way more fun for you week in and week out. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that I didn't bore you too much today. I'll be streaming on Wednesday, so come hang out if you have the time. We'll show Yuffie what we are made of. Alright everybody, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.